What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, I'm still wearing the same clothes from the previous video. In the previous video, we worked on the giveaway car. We installed all of the S1 all-wheel drive conversion kit, the Alpha 6 trailing arm, and the Delta 7 rear differential mount. This thing is looking freaking awesome in the wheel well, and I can't wait to get the same kit for my KRX. Now, I did get to make the progress I wanted to do on the giveaway car before working on this today, although we did lose a little bit more hour than I had hoped for. Had to do a lot of running around this morning, finding the rest of the parts, picking up the rest of the parts for the car, and then finding the welding gas that I needed. Nonetheless, we are here now. We got a little bit of daylight still and a lot of hours into the night. So today we're going to be working on my buddy Richard's car. If you guys remembered, I mentioned in the A2B intermediate shaft adapter video, it's for this car. This thing right here. It came here last night and I took a look at it, and holy cow, in a lot of good ways and a lot of bad ways. Sorry, Richard, you already know what it is. It's a heap of work that we need to do to get this car done, hopefully tonight, because it is scheduled to tune tomorrow morning. I'm just going to get right to it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and just review the car real quick. Now, I did say Honda Accord, but not your typical Honda Accord, especially when I said A series. What's up? What's up?
You brought a windshield yet or what?
No, I don't have a windshield.
Damn, dude, it's funny, man. I just had this conversation with my glass guy this morning, too. He came to my work with the car.
I don't know too much about Honda Accords. Not entirely sure which gen this one is, but it is the box style. It's in the 80s, just like anything else you guys see here. And the thing I like about this is the color. I don't know what color this is, but I know the DA Integra had a Jasper green that was kind of this color. The fact that it is four-door, and if you guys saw on the front, there is an intercooler. Yeah, you guys ready to see under the hood? Let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna show you guys anyways, but check this damn thing out, boy. This is a freaking built A series engine. I don't know if this is an A1000 or A80 or what, but it's an A series engine with an adapter plate to a B series all-wheel drive transmission. Oh yeah, and it's got piston rods. It's got a little cute turbo on here. It's got some goodies like intake manifold, got a big old charge pipe, got the inner muffler, and a Speed Factory tucked radiator. A lot of goodies in here, most definitely. BDL, haven't seen them in a while. Got Chase Bay products here and lines everywhere. Sheepy back over there, and we're gonna give it that static built touch. And today, it's a heavy task. We're making motor mounts, charge pipes, and a downpipe. I'm not going to explain like the process of everything I'm doing here. We're on a time crunch. The car needs to be done tonight so it can go on the dyno tomorrow, like mentioned. And I'm going to start by just taking everything I don't need out of the way so I can get to the motor mounts to get this engine nice and straight, because it is kind of crooked and it kind of bothers me. But we also don't have a transmission motor mount, so we're definitely going to tackle that or that and the rear mount. So let's get to it. So what I just did was I removed the front motor mount bolt right there under the turbo, and I also removed the bolt for the motor mount in the back. Where is it at? Where is it at? It's literally right there, right there. So the reason why I did that is because the engine is slanted, and you can see the bubbles all the way to the right. With those two bolts now taken off, we can finally bring the engine up and get the engine leveled out a little bit here. We're not quite there. Okay, there we go. So, it looks way more slanted the other way. Okay, that looks about right. I'm gonna double check again before obviously making this motor mount, but the reason why I took off the mounts is because the car's all-wheel drive. It's gonna be a lot of like transfer through the transmission, and the engine was pretty stiff with just that back, front, and side. But the important one is the transmission, because it's literally just hovering, you know what I mean? So I don't care about the front mount, because once we get a solid one there, I'm sure we don't need that one, but most definitely the back for torquing. So now that we have the engine propped up kind of straighter than what it was, I can start making that mount right there. If you guys been here long enough with the all-wheel drive CRX build, the red one, you guys probably seen the video when I made the custom motor mount for the transmission, and I pretty much am going to do the same thing. Reminding myself now to put the card up top so you guys can see it, but I'm gonna go ahead and just mock everything up, make everything cut, grind, because I don't want to go too deep into the night with the power tools. So I'm gonna show you guys what I come up with in just a moment. So I got the transmission mount made, cardboard, transfer to steel, got the holes drilled out, got a spare eBay motor mount that I had lying around, and I welded it onto that plate. I weaved it pretty damn thick, and right now we're going to be making the tabs off the frame rail to go to this. Now he does have the B series mount kit for this chassis, but he wants to keep this in case he goes B series or something later down the road. So we're not going to touch this, but I am going to take pretty much this measurement of this tab, and I'm going to make something very similar to this, so that way we can conform it to the shape of the rail, go to this tab, able to put a bolt through, give it some gussets. Now I could weld the tab to the chassis and then put a gusset there, but I want to make the whole plate because I want to ensure that that bracket is going to grab a whole surface of the frame rail rather than just where it's welded, because I did that on the H22 and the frame actually cracked over time over hard launches. So I'm gonna figure all this out right now and see what we come up with. Guys, I am starting to regret not starting on this car earlier. It's currently 11:36 and I still need to cut a lot of parts, and I'm really trying hard to not make a lot of noise, but the grinder is super loud. I got a new blade for my vertical saw that's like 10 times louder, so I kind of pushed it out into the rain. It started raining a little earlier to kind of get the noise away from the house. Nobody lives here, so not really disturbing anybody, but mostly my brother and the neighbor over there. I did ask my nephew if it was loud. He said it's loud, but it's not like bothering loud, so that's good, but it's still loud when I'm standing right here. So a little update. I did a motor mount bracket that goes to the frame rail, and this is literally just measure and cut, puzzle it together, and so far this is what I've come up with. So let me show you real quick how this looks. It's going to be a real tight fit when this mount is welded in place. So in order for you to take off this mount, Rich, is to literally drop the engine down to pull this mount out. But if you had any reason to pull the motor mount out, then you're better off just dropping off everything, right? This is going to go in something like that. I do have a little hole right here for a 10 mil as a reference to hold this bracket in place. Give or take, that's how it's going to look. I do still want to make another plate that goes right here on this face. I am TIG welding this bracket together because MIG welding, I'm only on the 110, so I can't burn hot enough to melt this 1/4 inch plate. So I am TIG welding it, running it super hot to watch it melt and then dab it in, and it kind of gives it a lower profile. So I need to make the plate here, TIG that together, one more on the back side here, and then once I like finish up this bracket, the bracket is going to be bolted one right there only because there's no other provision other than this one, which is kind of far, right? But once I finish this bracket, I am going to grind down the frame rail, and then I'm going to stitch weld it onto the chassis, so that way this mount is going to be permanent. But not fully welding it allows you to cut it back out when you want to put a regular B series transmission or a full B series swap. You can just switch over to this bracket right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just make further progress. This is literally one of like many things to do, and it's almost 12 o'clock. Let's get to it. All right, guys, so it is 1 o'clock, and I just talked to Richard, and he said that he may potentially be the last car to tune today, but originally he was supposed to be the first one in the AM, so that's why I was pushing to get this thing all situated. Now the motor mount took a little bit longer because of how tight knit the engine bay is with the transmission. Not only that, I started on the super late, so I didn't want to make a lot of noise, and because it's so quiet, it just echoes that much more. I already made everything for the bracket that I wanted to do, which is actually hanging out right here, cooling down. Right, it's really hot, so I TIG welded another plate right there to give it extra support to the rail. So because he may be tuning the end of the day, I'm going to continue this early in the morning. I'd rather get some sleep now so I can wake up early in the morning, tackle this in the morning, so I can work on this car the rest of my day. I want to get the paint on the fender and the bumper. It's like my priority. I have to get the mount, I have to get the tires and stuff mounted. It's just a lot to do with this car still. So right now, before I do close the garage up though, I am going to weld up the charge pipe. It was already butted up, so all I had to do was remove the couplers and just weld the seams shut. So right now I'm going to set up my stuff for aluminum and weld the charge pipe up. So we got my buddy Chia Pet,
yeah,
Richard's here working on buttoning up the rest of the stuff with his car, and we just got the motor mount welded up right here. We stitch welded it 1 2 3 4 5 inside, 6 7, and then that back one right here 8. The reason for that is because if this motor mount had to come out for whatever reason, just cut it off instead of a full seam weld. It'll be easier to do it this way than to, you know, the hassle of cutting the whole entire bracket out the car. So transmission motor mount's made up, frame rail mount is made up, engine is literally on its own, and we do have a little bit of front and back movement because the back mount is not on, the front's off. And the mount that I have to do right now is the rear mount, which is pretty simple because it doesn't use a, like, how do you call that, one of them round mounts?
Yeah,
like this one. It uses like a
GM style Chevy 350 mount.
There you go. GM 350 mount is one of the square ones. It's one of those square ones with a bolt on the top, and we rocked it. This one right here does line up. It just needs to be ovaled out a little bit, and then this bottom one right here pretty much needs to be chopped off and added with a new bracket, which is this one right here. So not this bracket we're going to use, this flange. We're going to cut another one out because this is super thick. It's super thick, and obviously if you see it here, very thin, right? So I'd rather match this thickness and make a whole new one. So I already marked it out. It's going to need to be cut there. I'm going to cut it straight down here, add another piece in, and pretty much I might add a third leg in the back because there is a like bolt hole that goes through the adapter. Because this is A to B, there's a third bolt right here, so I might add that, not entirely sure. So this is like what, one of the last main thing to do,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
And I feel like with this piece secured in all of its point, the engine shouldn't rock because of that transmission mount there, and we're not going to need that front one anymore. So while he's doing all of that, I am over here cleaning up my dashboard of all of the cat fur and dust and dirt, because I have a window guy coming here to install the window for me at 3 o'clock. What time is it?
It is 2.
It's 2 o'clock, so I got an hour. And while he's working on his car over there, I'm also putting in the work on this car, because I have literally like less than 12 hours to paint the fender, paint the bumper, assemble my outside of the car, all the moldings, all the clips, mirrors, door handles, headlights. It's a lot. So I'm gonna show you guys a little progress here and there with his car. I'm not really going to show you guys anything with the giveaway car. You guys gonna have to wait. I think the next video with this car is just going to be at the show, and then we'll do a once over once the show is over. So back to work. The T-bracket I didn't really show you guys. It is cut and trimmed out. Right now it is bolted to the rear mount and bolted to the transmission and the adapter plate. The transmission is propped up with the jack, so the engine is tilted backward to line it up, to know where the two bottom bolts to the transmission, the 90 mil, to know where it lands. So right now I just mocked up a little paper CAD. Where is it at? Right here. And this is pretty much for the bottom leg to the transmission, and I already kind of like imprinted the hole that I have to cut out right here for the bolts. And then I gotta tack it up underneath the car. I'm talking instead of showing you guys because I'm just really trying to get the work done, but I also want to show you guys what I'm doing, right? So this one right here I just cut out without even thinking. Check it out.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon. Gucci taters. Oh, you see what I did? You know what I'm saying? That custom beat
yeah,
roll,
I was
baby.
looking at that. I was like, all right, see.
Plier game, baby. Plier game, because I can't afford the bead roller. So yeah, so anyways, Richard has been putting in a ton of work in the engine bay. I had him come over today to like button this thing up while I'm still working on the car, just so that we can get it that much closer. 2 sets of hands is better than 1, and it is looking
like we on to something.
Yeah, we on to something, guys. This thing is freaking all put back together, kind of, and he's just buttoning up everything from the bottom up. Motor mounts in place right now. I just finished the back mounts. I just grinded it all down and all welded up, pretty much ready to go. Once we get that mount in place, nothing really much left to it. Just got to do fluids, coolant, oil, transmission, charge pipe, and block off a couple of vacuum ports, and then the battery tray. The battery tray is pretty straightforward. It's kind of already there. Just gotta figure out how to get a battery tie down and a mount to the chassis, but I mean, you guys saw it's already on there. But yeah, for the most part here in the bay, wiring done, coolant lines all reran, and I mean, the only really last thing is the downpipe. I don't think I'm gonna get to it today. All we're gonna do is just kind of route it that way and do open dump, because this car is going to get tuned open dump anyways. So we're just going to down pipe it right here past the subframe, and then you know, that'll be that. So yeah, we're just plowing through it, guys. I'm gonna get that in place right now to get that out of the way, and then I'm gonna start sanding my car down while he puts everything else together. Give it that rock test real quick.
That rock test?
That rock test from the manifold, backward or forward. Yeah, that thing is on there, boy.
Yeah, it's not going.
Now, if you wanted to be extra stiff, oh, mind you, this is not tightened either.
Yeah.
Unless you just did that.
I did.
Okay, so once that is tightened up, the thing is going to be a little more stiffer. That motor mount on the transmission is a little softer, but it's there, it's fat. And if you really wanted to make it stiff, put that front mount on. But this is good. This is progress. So motor mount is done, guys. Charge pipe is done. Custom transmission mount is done. Everything here is mostly buttoned up. Vacuum line for the BOV, the clamps for the charge pipe, and you know, the rest is really on you. Whatever wiring you got to do inside the car, and
that's
maybe we'll be able to turn this thing on.
That'd be tight.
We'll be tight. What was it that you just said?
Something I haven't done in 10 years.
10 years. This car has not seen a battery. Guys, this thing is literally ready to turn on. And the last thing it needed was the battery installed. So we didn't get to the battery bracket just yet. I am still going to do it tonight, but it's the least of the worries right now. The car has been buttoned up, and Richard has done literally everything in between, aside from everything that it came here for, which was the motor mounts, back mount, charge piping and stuff. So this thing is literally all put together. First time completed in what, 10 years?
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
And while Richard was doing this, I was going ham on this car. I mean, if you look, we got the moldings on, got the wheels on, height adjusted. We got the Koenigs on here. We got a freaking windshield. Shout out Tony, he came through last night. He had a brand new one just sitting in his freaking garage. And then over here we got the front bumper, all scuffed it down. We got it primered, base coat, clear coat. It's got like 3 clear on it. It's tacked up already. I'm just gonna let it dry throughout the night before I even touch that. This still needs to go on the car. And before I continue on with that car, I think we're gonna try to turn this car on. All right, so
it's on E.
It's all good. It's Honda. It'll run on fumes, bro.
We're about to test this theory real quick.
Hold on. At least prime it. Let me feel the fuel. Oh, fuel leaking.
Where are we leaking from?
Terrible leak. Very terrible leak.
Oh, nice.
When did you do these lines?
Just recently. Where did
Your line is completely gone.
Which one?
Your feed line, it's leaking out of the steel. So that means the hose on the inside deteriorated.
Wah, wah, wah.
There's no way this shit just recent. Recent line? Old line? Is it an old line?
That's an old line. The fill line is an old line.
Yeah. This did a... If you guys been on the channel since the H22 CRX build, when I first initially turned it on and the fuel came like pissing out of the line, that's exactly what that just did.
Did it come out of the fitting?
It came out of the line, like right here. Hey, pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. But there's fuel.
There's definitely fuel. It does not smell like that car that sat for 15 years. That car sat for 15 years smells terrible. This smells like freaking fuel. And it squirted out freaking clear. That car is green. It's got like moss or something in there, bro. Like, you got alien lines?
Not small fill line.
But this is 6, right?
Yeah.
It's a -6.
Yeah.
Guess what?
I don't have any hose. I have.
And then he's in the house of this YouTuber named Dana that.
All right. Looks like I'm taking off some fucking A&M lines.
Yeah, buddy.
So put it on pause while we do that.
The second pause. We're on second pause now.
No, it's like 3, 4, 5. I don't even care anymore. Like,
Let's fix this line.
Close.
I even got one right here. Look. Need to tighten up the line to the thingamabob real quick. To the fuel rail. It's leaking at the tip. Prime it again. Buddy, we got fuel. No more leaks. What's that in? Again? GoPro, we need a sponsor if you're willing. I am rocking the 8 for the last 2 years. He's got a 10 that just keeps killing the battery, and I've been a fan since the first Hero. You have a neutral safety switch on your clutch or no?
I'm pushing the clutch in.
Are you?
Yeah.
And no fire? Starter wire. Let me double check this real quick. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Kill your light inside the car. Give it some throttle. Guys, we are cutting into the night very late, and I'm supposed to leave here at 4 o'clock. It's like, what now?
It is midnight o'clock.
Yeah, it's like 12:30.
Yeah, 12:23.
12:23, and I still got to assemble my car. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to display the car on the passenger side because it's mostly completed. And I got all the moldings and everything. Got all the fuel cell stuff mounted in place. This car is obviously going incomplete, so there are going to be missing a few things here and there. I'm not too worried about it. And I can't wash the car because of the new windshield. I just was reminded when I was looking at that little paper right there. And I still got to button up the center console, the radio console, the billet shifter. There's going to be no door panel because I didn't get to it, but most importantly, I got the car in the stage where I want to display it as. Koenig wheels sponsorship, thank you. Back of the car is going to be propped. That wheel's coming off, hood's coming off because it's not painted. And like I said, I just want to bring the car there and show people that this is the car I'm working on to give back to people who helped me hit 100,000 subscribers. One lucky winner. But unfortunately for Richard's car, we didn't get it to turn on tonight. We're not entirely sure what's going on. We got spark, we checked it. We got fuel coming in. We don't know if the injectors are firing because we are on a random map. And we don't know if it has compression. But it sounds good.
It cranks.
Yeah.
It's got fuel, it's got spark.
But it just not firing. Plus the battery was draining out because we kept cranking it over and over and again. So definitely going to have Jeremy try to like remote in and set up a map or something for it for the correct injectors. Dead times, and try again later. So it's unfortunate we weren't able to get this car on the dyno this week, but at the end of the day, man, 10 years we heard it crank and we're that much closer.
We're that much closer.
You guys already know progress is better than no progress, and we're definitely doing it. This car is most likely going to it's going to happen before summer. I want to say that.
No,
I want to say that
for sure.
Yeah, so
it's close. I mean, all the stuff is there. It's where it's supposed to be, but you know, back to the drawing board and see if we can get a map or something and figure it out.
I'm just stoked that the engine's not slanted anymore, that's all. But for the Accord, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. We're going to wrap it up right now. I'm going to continue working on this car and hopefully finish it up soon, because what I need to do is the car doesn't turn on. I need his help now to get this car on the trailer, which big shout out to Jose for dropping it off. I need to get this car in the trailer, park the trailer here, and get a couple hours of sleep before I have to drive 2 hours north. So we're gonna load up this car now. I backed it up right there already, and we'll close out this video. Richard's car is on the trailer. This thing is it's a freaking tank, dude. It took us a minute to get it up. Right now me and Richard just switched the cars around. So we have the KRX on the right, giveaway CRX now on the floor, and all fours in over a year. And I still got to do a few more things with the car. Can't wash it obviously, but we are going to be swapping the headlights because that's the headlight I'm going to use on this car, since it is 8889 style. My corner lamps are 8889, so I'm going to switch those here. And bumper is dry, but I'm going to let it dry a little bit more, and I might try to throw it on the car. I got the lip to go on it as well. Put the bumper lamps in. I'm not worried about buttoning up any of the wiring or anything like that, because this whole car is going to come back apart a little bit to do all the little things. But nonetheless, giveaway car is looking more complete than it ever has. Kind of like Richard's car in 10 years, you know, not being able to hear it crank for 10 years and today was it. This car, same ordeal. Haven't been together in over a year, so we finally getting this car back, put back together. And again, driver's side is not complete because we didn't really get to it, but I am going to display the car on the passenger side because it looks freaking amazing right now. Car will be propped up on jack stand, just so the S1 stuff is going to be like visible to those that are interested, since it is going to be at the S1 booth. It's gonna be a long, awesome day. It's about maybe 2 o'clock right now. I'm supposed to leave at 4, so once we knock this out real quick, give a quick shower, quick power nap, and then I'm off in the morning, 4 o'clock, 4:30ish. Power nap. And I still gotta load up the van, the trailer, and all that stuff, get the CRX up on board. But the cool thing is I'm gonna be there for 2 days. I'm gonna be there 6 to freaking when the show's over, and they're still overnight camping. So when I get there, set up the car, I'm gonna sleep in the van, get a little shut-eye, and then when the show starts, we'll bang with it. So if you guys enjoyed today's progress on Richard's Honda Accord 89 Honda Accord, be sure to leave this thumbs up. Be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around, you know, maybe because we didn't get on the dyno now, so that means when Richard is ready to get on the dyno, we can go and see what that car does. So if you guys want to stick around and see that, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.